Hello, beautiful stars, earth, air, fire, and water. I hope everyone has been staying prayed up, blessed up, and doing what you do best. It is a beautiful late afternoon out here in Rain Child's Kornerz. I was not feeling good earlier, but I'm alright right now. I had brought some kind of sickness up into the job, and I started feeling like crap. It was like, the other day, I was like, you can feel it basically when you first come in. And I was like, what in the world is that? You could just feel it. It was just heavy as hell. But, okay, that's one of the hard. But, yeah, it was real heavy, and I think you could almost feel it, like, when you first walked in. It was like somebody had something, you know, the energy, you could just feel it, like a sick energy. And it was pretty freaking heavy, and I've been trying to get a handle on it with some turmeric, and it helped a little bit. Then I came in here and I started feeling bad again. I was like, ugh. Don't you feel silly, say her name? That shit happens. I don't get sick often, but usually when I do. It's alright. I just keep pushing. It don't never last long. Alright, so we're doing Sagittarius. Okay. So let me tell you what I have been sitting on for a little bit. I have been sitting on the fact that, you know, when I, you know, make new posts and do the videos, you know how I was like tripping because basically how long it takes, you know, for them to upload sometimes. And I guess it's just like, it could be a design to where it make you want to just say fuck it and give up. But, you know, I ain't about to do that. I'll take a break, come back to it, but then okay, so then I finally, you know, like got a hold on it. So, you know, Sagittarius is technically, you know, learning about these situations and having to deal, because you literally be thinking that a person who has more than you tend to think that we all do, you know, normal people do. We tend to think that, you know, they're not going to be selfish, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to be judgmental, you know, in a sense. They're not going to be the type of people who want to take from you, you know what I'm saying? It seems like they would want to help uplift you, but that is far from the truth. You know, you'll find plenty of people who'll help you, yes. A lot of people will. A lot will. But at the same time, you'll find some that will literally have more than you and want to take everything from you. They don't want you to have shit, because they feel like if you get anything, you're gonna pass them some kind of way, and you're gonna throw up in their face, you know, how you know, all the negative things that they've done to you. But I'm hearing, you know, Sagittarius is nothing like that. Sagittarius could care less. Literally, Sagittarius could care less. They don't I don't know too many Sagittariuses that would literally be like, oh, you got more than me? Okay, hold up. They're usually the type of people who share what it is that they have, and then they want you to have what they have. Most normal, you know, Sagittarius does. They do, you know. I grew up with a Sagittarius. You know, my uncle's a Sagittarius. He's one of them people where what he does, he's not going to he'll hear what it is you have to say, and he'll see what it is that you've done, and you know, they are forgiving. They will forgive, but at the same time, if it's something that they can't, like something you really can't come back from, you know, most of the time they'll just say fuck it and just leave you the fuck alone and just walk away. Usually they just cut dry on that note, just be cutting on that, and they go on about their business, and it'd be just the end of it, and you'll never probably hear from them again, you know what I'm saying? But if they done something that, you know, to wrong you, you know, or if you felt the kind of way and you just literally, you know, didn't address it, you know, in the right way or something like that. And then you have them, you know, literally, you know, calling you, talking to you, telling you stuff, and then you're secretly hating on them, really on the sly, because you're mad because they have more than you. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're upset, you know, because you're probably trying to figure out, like, how did this mug got all this, and then you don't hardly have all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody could actually be struggling, and then they'll be angry at a Sagittarius. And then if a Sagittarius has a whole lot, you know, they're not even being, you know, being funny about it. You know, they're trying to, you know, share the wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like, want you to go out and do things with them and this and that and the other, want to hang out, you know. They be like that. It don't never be no tit for tat. But, you know, if you guys or females are used to doing certain things together, you know, and then something happened to pop off, you know, some things are forgivable. You know what I'm saying? Then you do have those dark Sagittariuses. You know, the dark ones, the ones that literally be on a whole nother planet with the messed up stuff. You know what I'm saying? They have no boundaries. They know none. You know. If you be like, stay away, then they'll still be trying to pursue. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have those dark ones that are like that. But needless to say, a Sagittarius, never, you know, no, I ain't gonna say never, because you have, like I say, you have the uplifting ones, and you have the ones that are, you know, messed up. Like, you know, yes, they're all about winning. You know, Sagittarius wants to win, but they do like the, they don't like to cheat. They like the, you know, the real competition. You know what I'm saying? The real competitiveness. They like, you know, watching, you know, like watching football teams and stuff like that. They like watching, you know, things go down, you know, like watching their favorite team play another team. You know what I'm saying? And then they be all about this shit. You know? They be all into it. Whatever it is, they're all into it. If you're not in it, you're not in it. It just depends, you know what I'm saying? And if y'all on the opposite, you know, thing, they make it a friendly, funny competition. But then some people can't handle that side of them. You know what I'm saying? They get pissed off, get upset, like, you know. But needless to say, with some Sagittarius is what I'm gathering here. You know, some of you guys, you know, over the years, you might not have had as much, but now you have a lot now. And then, you know, in the past, you didn't have as much. But all the while, people was hating on you. In the background, hating on you. Pretty much was just around you because of the kind of light and energy that you drew in. You know what I'm saying? You know, you could have certain beautiful, you know, female Sagittariuses, and, you know, bring in, you know, beautiful light with them, and they attract, you know, handsome men around, you know. So some females want to be around you because you're attracting all this positive, good looking energy in, regardless if it's positive, negative, or what. And then you have the males. The males be looking good, you know what I'm saying? You know, positive. They can be heavy set, you know, slim. It don't even matter. Niggas smell good, smell good. Can be light skin, dark skin, white, black, green, purple, red, whatever. But be bringing in all the beautifulness, you know what I'm saying? Because they have that beautiful aura, that positive aura, and they can fit in anywhere. It doesn't even matter. Fit in anywhere. But yeah, people they were hating. This is what I'm saying. People were hating. But I'm just hearing that you don't care. You don't care. But it was nice. But it's nice to know. You don't care, but it's nice to know. If you notice that people are, you know, talking funny when you call them, and they're cutting shit short or whatever, and they acting like they got something else to do, it's because they don't like you like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't really mess with you like that. And they have a problem with you. And you have to be real careful, you know, of things that you do, because some people will be up under you for years and then want to put out your personal information. You know what I'm saying? Things that don't even need to be put out there like that. But anyway, first Deacon Sagittarius. You know, Sagittarius are learning. You know, some people in the past wasn't even really for them. You know what I'm saying? They was hating and jealous, you know. But past is past, but it's nice to know because Sagittarius is on top of the world right now. A lot of you are. And if you are rising You're knowing and learning that some people wasn't, you know, all up in your circle, and they were just sitting back, just waiting on you to fall. Just sitting back, waiting on something to happen. Negative. Yeah. Loss of something loved, mourning, grief, loss, despair, regret, heavy-hearted. Cherish the present. Yeah, because in the past, people was, you know, hating on you. Know what I'm saying? And then maybe you might have done something and you might not known that it was a horrible thing to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it just goes to show you, you know, how people want to blame you for every little thing. You know what I'm saying? When they already know that they were already on some fuck shit. They was already on some fuck shit, period. I'm just telling you that now. They was already on some fuck shit. You know, when it comes to certain situations. But then they want to just blame you for every little thing that's going wrong in their life. But yet you're doing good and they're unhappy. But when the shoe was on the other foot, you know, it was all good then, right? When the other person had more than you, it was all good, right? It was, right? So yeah, I'm hearing that some of you Sagittarius, yes, you have already, you know, felt the loss of something, already mourning, you know, in grief and, you know, over the situation, and you've moved the hell on with your life because it's all good. All right, I'm gonna give another one on that. Actually, since one come out, I'll just leave it like that. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the second deacon. Yeah, you already grieved that mess. So we're on second deacon. Sagittarius. Yeah, you might have sat there and grieved over the 3 little cups that was in the flow, but you knew you had 2 more in the background, so you weren't even worried about it. Why? You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing it's just it's too bad though. Too bad. Sad, but too bad. Alright. Yeah. Okay, for the second deacon, we have energetic, optimistic, great, you know, affinity, self-confidence, nature lover, virtuous, generous, clear thinker, strong-willed, down to earth. This is Queen of Wands. So we have looks like either you're dealing with, you know, Queen of Wands type of energy, or this is your energy. You know, you're very energetic, optimistic, you know, great affinity. You have self-confidence, you know, you love nature, virtuous, generous, clear thinker, strong-willed, down to earth. Very down to earth you are. This is for the second deacon.
Don't you feel silly, guy? Can't say her name. No magic over the brain to contain you, just mad.
Yeah, you're down to earth and you're very confident within, you know, yourself. And so when it comes down to this message, like I said, you could care less now because what's done is done. You know what I'm saying? It already shows, you know, that, you know, with the first deacon that you already grieved, you know, and then with the second deacon here, it's just showing that you're still optimistic. You know, you can meet new people. You know, yeah, sometimes you might have history and stuff like that with folks, but it don't mean it's the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Because things could always get better. You could always, you know, be optimistic about the future and live in the present. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump to the third deacon. And I got 2 for that one. All right. Yeah, because, yes, you did have to be defensive about a bunch of stuff because we have the 7 of Wands here. You know, you had to stand your ground because you're in a favorable position. You know, your life is your life and you're in a favorable position now, and now you're standing your ground. You know, just because, you know, you evolved and you've moved on and you're where you want to be now. You're fighting for what it is that you think you need to be fighting for. Now, if it's something negative, honey, then yes, you're going to be very defensive. You know what I'm saying? If it's negative, if you're a negative person, it's going to be defensive. You're going to be defensive about anything you do. But yes, you even in the positive, because this is an upright. You know, you're not caring about, you know, all this, you know, mess or whatever that's going on. And as far as you finding out, you know, truth about things that happened in the past. As what I'm hearing here, what's done in the dark always comes to the light, no matter what. And this is for the third deacon. Yes, and then we have the Three of Pentacles, and it's saying being recognized, meaningful work, monetary reward, renown, applause, you know, teamwork, collaboration, communicate, creativity. Yeah, you're fighting for your creativity, things that you've worked hard for. You know what I'm saying? The life that you have built for yourself, you're fighting for it because it is yours. You know, when other people were doing better than you and hating on you, they didn't never think that they was going to be able to see you rise up. They didn't think you was going to be able to see you rise up. It was already one damn thing, you know, to be a handsome or a very good looking male or female. You know what I'm saying? Already, that's already, you know, they thinking, oh, you know, they look good, but guess what? They broke. You know what I'm saying? But you wasn't broke. You were rich. Because it's what's inside that counts. Your heart. You know, never a narcissist ever. Yes, people, you know, sometimes you wanted what you wanted and you got what you wanted. But at the same time, you love. You have a loving heart. And now I'm going into all three. First, second, and third. And then I'm going to pull a card for that. And then get one more before I take off. Get one more for this. Yeah. So, you know, you already look good, so it was all good. You know, they might have had more money in the pocket, but you look good. You looked better than them, but they thought that was going to be enough for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you was supposed to have. You was only supposed to just look good and not rise up to the occasion, right? No. When you work hard, long hours, and put in your work and do what you have to do, you know what I'm saying? And know your heart. Child, let me show you something. You have a lot of passion. You're very passionate, charming. You have great people skills. Your idealism. People love being around you. You're sensitive. You have a very high-key self of intuition. You focus on emotions, and you're compassionate, and you're romantic. You know what I'm saying? And you know you have lofty thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're in this Emperor and Empress energy, you still have the heart like the Knight of Cups. You're enthusiastic about a lot of things in life. You know, just because of age or whatever the case may be, age or experience, you know new things can always be learned. And you also know new things can be had. Okay? All right. And so we have wishes, wish come true, material success, yearning, abundance, you know, complacency. Sorry. All right. It says happiness, enjoyment, superficial desires. Yes. But you worked hard for it. All right. Inner fantasies. All right. Yeah, because you sitting like this child with the 9 of Cups all day long. I'm here all day long. Ooh, yay. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Even though you might have lost a couple of things, you know what I'm saying? Yes, you lost them. You had a couple of things you might have lost. You know what I'm saying? That was dear and near to your heart. But yet you still remained in this, you know, optimistic, great, you know, energy. You know what I'm saying? You know, the nature lover. Probably going out fishing, you know, out there in the yard cutting grass, you know what I'm saying? Working on your garden, whatever the case may be, with your dog, you know what I'm saying? Just loving life, period. Learning new things, you know what I'm saying? Generous, you know, helping others, being a clear thinker, strong will, and down. The best part about a Sagittarius is how much they're down to earth. Okay? Don't think I don't know, Chad. Yeah, and of course, fight to the death when it comes to what's theirs and what belongs to them. What belongs to them. You know, when you're in the upright. This is for the first, second, and third deacon, Sagittarius. All right, all these together. Yes, because you've always been recognized. Let's just put it that way. You've always been recognized. Even when you didn't have a whole lot, you were still recognized. Why? Because, you know what I'm saying? You did good work. Everything that you even tried to work on, child, everything you worked on, you always mastered it. I don't think you was never seen. I remember watching my Uncle Ty teaching himself how to break dance. This is before we had, videotapes and, hold on. Yeah, this is before we had videotapes, cell phones and all that. This mug would just stand in front of the mirror, and I would lay on the floor. Yeah, I would sit there and laugh and chuckle about a couple of things, because things used to be looking a little weird, but he mastered that shit. He became one of the best, not in the world, of course, but in the state of South Carolina. I pretty much compared him to Poppin' Taco. That's why I like Poppin' Taco. That's why my son liked him so much too. Pretty much that's his those particular thing right there. If he was raised up in California, trust me, he would have been all up in the mix. But yeah, even when he did the noises with his mouth, bebop, all that, mastered everything, mastered different languages, all that stuff, and never gave up on himself, period. When he was looking and hunting for things, he never stopped until he finds it. Very passionate, young at heart, and now he's good. He has the wish come true. You know what I'm saying? And that's for all of you guys. You all have the wish come true because you put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna pull one more from my abundance deck, and I'm gonna take all and get back inside because bright time is almost over. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got to go. Nothing but the highest light. God Almighty, Archangels, ancestors, evil is never welcome here. Okay. Yeah, clearing debts. All right. It says your self-care involves removing heavy burdens of financial and emotional debts. All right, from your life. It says you already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic. All right, it says and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. So for some of you all, you basically know you got some things. Maybe you probably overspent, overindulged, or whatever the case may be. However you may look at it, you're facing your fears and you're going to clear these debts out of your life. And you're being applauded for that. And for some of you guys, you don't even have to deal with none of that. You get one more. One more. Okay, I thought I had a flipper, I didn't. One more. Too many. And what I was talking about, detox your friendship. Alright, it says your abundance flow is being affected by, the people with whom you're spending time. So be discerning about your associations and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. If they're all negative and grouchy and always bitching and raising hell about what they done got and, what's going on in their life and how it's this and how it's that, dead it. I mean, you ain't got to be all just cruel and harsh about it, but, just step away for a little while and let them, figure it out. Or help them. However you may see fit. But I love each and every one of you beautiful Sagittariuses. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Deuces.
Her name.